How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Farming Simulator 19 Survival Series. And you catch me just as we're finishing breakfast, as it's only 7 o'clock in the morning. But I did have an early start and I did take care of the animals. And that was a breeze because we've got these containers now, or pallets. And that is taking care of all my chicken box egg problems, which is amazing. And then over here, our sheep have not bred yet, but they're getting pretty close by the looks of it. And we'll see how that all develops. I still think there's something wrong. So over here, we've got 1 3/4 pallets of wool. And over here, we've got 4 full ones, which I took out a couple of days ago. And yeah, that's sort of it for now. I should actually load all of that on the trailer, but I never brought the trailer back here. I put it on the other side of the farmyard over there. So, yeah, I still need to go and fetch that and start loading some of that stuff up. But anyways, in today's episode, we don't need that GPS right now. It would be nice to stick the GPS on and the thing drives us to the shop, but unfortunately it's not going to do that. So we'll do that manually. But in today's episode, we're going to be seeding. And there's quite a bit of plans around that. So we are going to be buying a new seed drill. And then, of course, we're going to be buying the potato drill, or potato planter, I should say. And it is a little bit dark at the moment, so I do apologize, because if it's dark on my screen, it means it's very dark for you guys after it's been rendered twice. Once by me, once by YouTube. So, yeah, apologies for that. We'll speed time up a little bit to try and get the sun over the hills there. And brighten our day up a little bit, hopefully. And, yeah, the thing is, I want to be spending a bit of money today. We are going to buy a new seed drill, upgrading from our 9 meter, I think we've got at the moment, is a 9.1 or 9.3 or something like that, to an 18 meter seed drill, which is very, very exciting. It's a huge piece of equipment. It's also an extremely expensive piece of equipment. The one thing that I am a little bit worried about is it requires 450 horsepower to operate. And that is concerning because our big John Deere only has 370 horsepower. So our plow required 400. The tractor pulled it just fine. No problems at all. But that was only a 30 horsepower below the rating, the required rating. Now we are looking about 80 horsepower below the required rating. So I'm not sure if that is going to cope. But if it doesn't, then there is an option. So the tractor that we've got is in 8960. We can always upgrade it to the bigger one, which is obviously quite a bit more expensive, especially when you start throwing the big engine into it, which is the 9620 then, which is a 500 horsepower engine at a price of $58,000. So we could do that, and I worked out with the spec that we need. It'll cost us about $180,000, I think it was, second hand. So yeah, it's gonna be, or it might have been 160, somewhere around there. Either way, it was expensive. So I would prefer to not do that if we don't absolutely have to. But if we really, really have to, then it's fine. We can do that. We'll sell the other one, which would be a pity because it's nice, but we're just gonna upgrade it with almost the same thing, just slightly, well, a lot bigger. And yeah, anyway, what we need to do right now is we need a potato planter, and I think this is the only one available to us, which is of a decent size, 6 meters. So we're going to be buying that second hand, $79,000. There we go, because we're going to be needing that right now. And what we're not going to be needing right now is the topper. Room color, we'll make it black. That looks very nice. We're going to buy that now, just because it saves us a trip later, and it's only $18,000. So we're going to be buying that. So we can hook all of this up. We can take it back to the farm. We can get it serviced. All of that good stuff. And then we will come back and we'll buy our new seed drill. And we're going to need quite a bit more potato equipment. But that is mostly harvesting related, as is this topper. But I just thought we can take this now, so we might as well take it now. And yeah, the rest we'll come back and buy it when we actually need to. Maybe I should buy it as soon as I'm back at the shop, otherwise I'm going to forget about it. And I'll probably buy something else, and then we won't have money to actually get the potatoes out of the ground. But I'm going to run this back to the farm, and we'll just skip back to the shop, and then we'll buy our brand new seed drill. So I'll see you guys in 1 second. Alright, dropped off, and I went ahead and washed those pieces of equipment and cleaned them up as well and sort of put them away. We don't really have a lot of space for that, so I just sort of put them wherever I found a little bit of space. So this is what I'm looking at. That is an 18 meter Terminator TH18, and that works with the TH1400. And $212,000, 450 horsepower. So we shall see. We shall see if this works. We're gonna go second hand. That saves us $42,000. $170,000, still a lot of money though. So we're gonna be buying that, and we're gonna be buying the cart that goes along with that, which is $78,000. Goodness me, this is a lot of money. This makes me extremely nervous. Wow, that is big though. That is, ooh, that is big. Very, very big indeed. Right, I think the cart goes in front of the actual drill here, but I'm gonna hook this up so we can get it serviced. I hope it fits through that door, because it is pretty freaking big. I think I turned a little bit late there, but we might be able to make it work. Oh, just about. Nope. This is a big boy. It's very big. This kind of scares me, to be honest. I'm very nervous right now. Right. Repair. Little bit on the expensive side, but that's fine. It is an expensive piece of equipment, so that is to be expected. Yeah, this thing makes me nervous because I'm wondering if it's maybe too big for the farm. We still have the other drill, so maybe I think we'll have to use the other drill on the small field, which is going to be the wheat field, the one right at the farmyard. Because I don't know if this thing is gonna be the easiest thing in the world to maneuver around all of those corners and rocks and trees and all of that good stuff. I don't know. So we might use the other one for that. We could sell it. We'll probably get about $40,000 for it, and we might need to, but we'll see. We'll give this one a go. And yeah, I think this goes first. And this should, in theory, I think, take fertilizer as well. So there's no need for us to fertilize before we actually do the seeding. As usual, our other one is the same. There we go. Connect all of the air hoses up. So that is where all of the product, which is going to be seed and fertilizer, flows through to the drill itself. And yeah, all of that works on air. So that's pretty cool. That's why they call it an air drill. Right. That is that, really. I mean, it is way, way too big for the Valtra, but just to sort of move them from the shop to the farm is perfectly fine. There's no real resistance on that, but yeah, I think it might even be a bit of a handful for the John Deere, to be honest. Not sure if that is really gonna work, but we'll give it a go. I mean, the John Deere is big and it's pretty powerful, so we'll see. I'm quite excited, but I'm very nervous as well, because if that doesn't work, that's gonna be a bit of an expensive fix, which I would rather avoid if we can. Again, I think we'll be fine because we're not doing any real uphill pulls with this. Most of our fields are pretty flat. So we should be fine. I hope we're going to be fine. But yeah, I also don't think this is going to fit through this entrance, so I might need to take it all the way around the back. So, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive all the way around. And I'm going to get this cleaned up. And it's already serviced, so that's fine. This one runs a little bit uphill at the end there, but it should be fine. And I'll get the John Deere out. I'll get that service filled up with diesel because it is a little bit empty after all of the plowing work. And when we bought it, it only had a little bit less than half a tank, and we've never put fuel in it. So, yeah, it's a little bit low. And yeah, we'll head out to the field and see what this thing can do. Alright, so we are filling up the seed tank and we are doing fertilizer right now. So it's got the auger on the side and that just goes into the designated sections, the front and the back. So the back is for seed and the front is for fertilizer. And that is all filled up, so we should be good to go. And I don't really know what we are going to be planting yet. So canola, soybean, oilseed, radish, wheat, barley. So we're going to be doing wheat on the field closest to the farmyard. That's going to be chicken feed again, because we are going to keep the chickens. I very nearly got rid of them. And then we got the pallets, and it's working a treat, so great. Right, I don't know. Let's have a quick look at prices. So, wheat, barley, about 40. Wheat is about the same. Oat, 70. Canola, 76. We haven't done canola in a while. And then soybeans, 75. We also haven't done barley in a little bit. Maybe we should do... Let's have a look at the fields. Maybe we can do soybeans over there, because they're worth quite a bit. And it's sort of got a low yield. So we need to we need to empty the combine a lot less often if we go on the big field. So, yeah, soybean over there, maybe barley over here, potato over there, wheat over there, and then we can do... probably canola over there. So, yeah, wheat, soybean, canola, barley. If I remember that, then that will be the sequence. Or, yeah, that'll be the way that we'll be planting this. Right, next thing is going to be setting up the GPS. So we need to wait for this to unfold, which seems to be a bit of a timely process. There we go. You can do it. Let's go. Let's go. I don't have all day. Right. So we're going to go setup. We're going to go auto width. We'll reduce that down to about 17.8. No offset. We'll call this big... What do we call the other one? Cedar. Cedar. We'll do 0. And we'll add that in. So that's going to be the big cedar at 17.8. And that should be fine. We'll see how big the overlap is on 17.8. Because the measurements aren't always accurate. And we might up it to about 18. But this is going to be the first crop in the ground. With the new drill. There we go. We've got a bit of a loose bed that we're planting in because this is plowed and not cultivated. This, as far as I know, is no-till, so we don't actually need to do plowing or cultivating or anything before drilling. And, I mean, we're running at 18 kilometers an hour, so it seems absolutely fine. The question is going to be when we come back. Is it going to make it up the hill? So we'll find that out in a second. You'll also notice that we've got half a tank of fuel. And that is because I didn't fill it up all the way. I see something is on sale. I don't know what that is. 345 Plus Pro. I didn't want to fill the tank up completely because this thing has got like a 1400 liter fuel tank. So it's massive and very expensive to fill. And I was afraid that if this thing can't pull the cedar and we have to replace it, I don't want to sell it and I just put in like $5,000 worth of fuel. Okay, it wouldn't have been $5,000 worth of fuel, but it would still have been a lot of money's worth of diesel. So I was a bit on the cautious side, and just went for half a tank of diesel, and that half a tank will last us probably another 2 seasons because the tanks are massive. Because if you look on the back behind the window, there's a little spout there. That is an extra fuel tank, which kind of basically doubles the size. It might actually be a little bit more than double. So it increases the size dramatically. And that does pull up the hill, barely, but it does pull up the hill nonetheless. So, yeah, it's definitely struggling a little bit, I would say. And that is turned off right now. So, yeah, but it's fine. I mean, it'll be a little bit slow over here and probably only here. But you know what? For $100,000 saving, I think we can live with that. So, yeah, we're going to continue on with planting. And I think I'm going to get all of the fields knocked out real quick. So we'll obviously do that in a time lapse. And then we will come back as soon as we start potato planting. So I'm not going to do the potato planting in this time lapse. We'll knock all of this out. We have seen our brand new drill now and it's working beautifully. And I hope we can turn around up here because this is quite a long setup and those rocks are pretty freaking close. Unfortunately, those are rocks that we can't get rid of, so we might need to learn to reverse with this big thing. But yeah, we will come back and have a look at our potato planter and how all of that works for the field over there that you can see in the distance. That's still white from the lime. And yeah, we'll have a sort of an initial look at that, and then we'll probably finish that out in a time lapse as well, because at 6 meter working width is probably going to take a while. But anyway, yeah, let's jump into that time lapse and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Alright, so that is all of the seeding done, and we are just heading into the farmyard here with the final piece of equipment that we're going to need for our potatoes. And this is the extractor, so it's a 1.5 meter working width extractor, and it just drops everything sort of behind it. I would have liked to get the one that drops it to the left or to the right, and the working width of the two is exactly the same. The difference is this one can run at 15 kilometers an hour, where the other one can only run at 8. So for the size of field that we have, I think I kind of prefer a higher running speed. So we'll see how that pans out. I mean, I guess you kind of save on the other one because when it comes to collection, you have half of the amount of lines, because running down it'll drop it to one side, coming back it'll drop it on the same side, so you'll have fewer lines to pick up. So we'll see how that all pans out, and we might end up replacing this for that option, but for now this is what we have. And we also have one more piece of equipment that I'll show you in a second, that I just brought into the farmyard and cleaned up and serviced as well. Everything was bought secondhand, just to save that extra little bit of money. We've got $96,000 at the moment. Right, so that over there is the other piece of equipment that we bought, and this is the collector. So this has a little belt down there that drops down on the ground, runs off the PTO. That picks up the potatoes off the ground that the machine that we just brought in there took out of the ground. That conveyor swings out to the right, the way we're looking at it to the left. And yeah, a trailer connects on here, and then that picks it up and throws it directly into a trailer. So that is pretty freaking cool. I did not buy a dedicated trailer for that. I want to see how complicated it'll be to run our trailers that we've got over there on that, but I think it'll be fine. We'll disconnect them from each other and then run one per time. Obviously we can only run one at a time on this, and yeah, I guess as they fill up we'll just reattach them to each other, and we'll see how many trailers we end up with at the end of the day. But yeah, maybe it'll be a good idea to buy something like the trailers that we've got there, but a bigger version. I did think about running an auger, like a dedicated auger trailer next to that. The reason I didn't buy one is, well, firstly, they're very expensive. And secondly, the auger trailers are the wrong way around for that setup. So it'll be filling on the high side, which means it is filling on the side where we want to empty from, if that makes any sense. So the auger wagon, the auger of the auger wagon will sit on the implement side instead of on the what should be the final trailer side, if that makes any sense at all. If it doesn't, I do apologize, but yeah, that is kind of the deal there. Right, this I just noticed it's got a 0%, and I'm thinking that's fertilizer, but it's most likely going to be liquid fertilizer. Let's have a quick look. And potato technology, that is going to be liquid fertilizer. What is that though? Is that dry fertilizer? I don't think so. Maybe herbicide or something like that. Right, so we're going to have to go buy some liquid fertilizer before we can do that. Right, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the pickup, and I'm going to run up to the shop with the pickup and buy maybe, I don't know, two tanks of liquid fertilizer. I'm not sure how much we're going to need, but we'll see. We'll grab two. The truck is nice and quick, so we'll grab 2 tanks. Hopefully this thing can carry 2 tanks, because the suspension in the back here isn't the stiffest suspension in the world, so it doesn't cope that well with big IBCs like that, or any weight at all for that matter. But yeah, we're gonna do that, and then we'll head back down to the farm. We'll fill the machine up, and I'll catch you guys up at the field. Alright, back at the farm, and this is pretty freaking heavy. I thought these IBCs were 1,000 liters each. Turns out they're 2,000 liters each. And the truck is coping okay with it. I'm actually quite surprised. We're not bottoming out the suspension quite yet, but we are extremely close though. In fact, we are actually touching a little bit looking at that, but yeah, it's fine. It drove here. Right, let's see how much we need. Ooh, maybe we overbought a little bit there. 212 gallons. Not really sure what that is in liters, but anyway, that's fine. I forgot that this uses liquid fertilizer. We haven't used liquid fertilizer much on this farm at all. If at all. I don't know. Did we ever spray liquid fertilizer? I think we did right in the beginning. We had a big, like, fiberglass tank, which had some... Was it liquid fertilizer, or was it herbicide? Not 100% sure. Anyway, let's lift this up. Fold everything out. We'll get the GPS set up real quick. And, ooh, that pulls out quite a bit. Interesting. Right. Didn't know it did that. Pretty freaking cool. Right, this is also going to be a telltale moment whether we actually got all of the stumps out of here. I hope we did. I think we did. Right. So, auto width, 6 meters. Let's maybe go for 5.8 again. I like to give about a 20 centimeters. Sometimes that's too much. Maybe let's go 5.9. 10 centimeters. I know you shouldn't have an overlap, but I just prefer to have that because the game does sort of skip some things every now and again. Right, let's call that potato. Planter. We'll do 0. Add. So potato planter is going to be 5.9 and no offset. Let's have a look. Alright, we'll see if we need to increase that overlap at all. I don't think we'll have to. But here we go. The first potatoes on the farm. Oh, oh, beautiful. Look at that. And I did decide to use the Voltra for this, obviously. And let's hide that so we can get a bit of view. Beautiful. That is awesome. Oh, loving this. Loving this. I'll be honest, at one stage I wasn't sure that we would ever see potatoes planted on this farm. Oh, brilliant. Look at the little potatoes going up there into the belts, and that is so freaking cool. Amazing. I wonder how many times we'll have to refill this thing. It doesn't seem like it's using a lot. If we look at that, 95%, 96%. So about 5% per row. Not sure how many rows we'll get out. I am glad we have the 6 meter and not the 3 meter, because even with the 6 meter, this is definitely going to take a while. That's why I wanted to try and make the overlap as small as possible. And I think 10 centimeters is perfect. Looking at that, it seems like we are dead on the line, and we're not going to have any skips, but we aren't wasting any time either by running over some previous planted potatoes. So yeah, that is pretty freaking cool. I'm very, very, very happy with that. 12 kilometers an hour, doing well. No problems with power. Oh, this is brilliant. Very, 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 very cool. I'm so excited for this. This is going to be amazing. I mean, we're only putting them in the ground now, and I can't wait for harvest already. That's going to be awesome. we still need to put up our potato washer and our potato sorters and all of that good stuff. I've got some ideas around that that we are hopefully going to be taking care of while all of our crops are growing, because this is the last field that needs any crops going into it. So yeah, in the next episode, most likely, maybe even the next 2 episodes, we're going to be doing some work around the farm. One, to make space for all of our new equipment, and 2, to make space for things like potato washing and sorting. So definitely a couple of ideas that I've thrown around, and we're going to be working on that. But for now, we're going to get the potatoes planted, and yeah, nothing else to it. So we're going to jump into a time lapse. We're going to get this field knocked out, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. So that is all of the seeding and planting complete, and yeah, it went pretty well. So I will say this field over here where we put the wheat in, I think next time around we're going to be using the smaller planter for this, or the seeder. And yeah, the big one was a little bit uncomfortable around here, so we are going to be keeping that. I would have liked to sell it because we could get probably about $45,000 to $50,000 for that piece of equipment. But we are going to keep it for this field and maybe some future fields that might be a little bit more difficult to plant than the ones that we've got at the moment. But yeah, I think in the next episode we are going to be doing some work around the farmyard. At some stage we'll have to do some weeding and some fertilizing, and yeah, after that just wait for the crops to grow and keep ourselves busy. But that is going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you all next time.